We love you very much. Hi everyone, I'm George. This is my beautiful Aquascaper 1200. I think it's beautiful anyway. It's actually one of my favourite scapes that I've ever done now. It's nearly 12 months old. It just keeps looking better and better as it matures, and every maintenance session and do a little bit of trimming, maybe move a plant, take a plant out. It's hit that sweet spot between being relatively low maintenance but high impact. And for me as an aquascaper professionally, it's still really important to have aquascapes at home because it is still my hobby. But because I do a lot of travelling and I aquascape a lot of other people's tanks, etc., I don't have as much time as I'd like to do my own tanks. So it's important for me to have something that's relatively low maintenance, but obviously still looks impressive, hopefully. And I think that's achieved it really well. So that's my 1200. There's a whole playlist dedicated to this, which I'll leave a link up there and in the description. So please check that out, binge watch it if that's something you're into. But this video is more about this book. It's a really special book, and I've mentioned it in a few videos in the past, a few live streams, and I showed it to, I was interviewed for a podcast called On the Ledge, which is a gardening podcast, and one of the questions was, what got me into aquascaping. I got this book out, I thought, it'd make quite a good video for you guys to give you a bit of an insight into what it means to me. So it's called Nature Aquarium World Book 1. Some of you have probably heard of it already, some of you may even have it, and it's one of Takashi Amano's first ever books. I don't think it was his first book, but I think it's one of the ones that are more commonly available in Europe. It's an English translation, published by TFH, 1996 edition. And the reason it's so special to me is because it absolutely opened my eyes up into the world of aquascaping. So I kept an aquarium, and I bought my first aquarium I think in 2002, 2003, and I've always had quite a close relationship with nature. I like the outdoors, I like landscape photography, I like to see rivers, mountains, trees. I just love to be outside amongst nature, and so it was a kind of logical step to have a planted aquarium. And I did some research. I think I subscribed to Practical Fish Keeping magazine, and I heard about this book, and so I bought it for a Christmas present, and I'll never forget opening it for the first time, and it absolutely blew my mind. I'm not spiritual or religious, but I had almost like an epiphany, and I absolutely knew that was the direction I wanted to take my hobby. And even back then, 2000 and I think I got this book in 2003, 2004. Ever since that moment, I just relentlessly researched aquascaping, how to grow plants properly. I discovered I was one of the first people in the UK to kind of use the estimative index, which was kind of promoted by Tom Barr back then. And I became super obsessed by aquascaping, and yeah, it was the first step on the journey to becoming where I am right now, talking to you guys as a YouTuber and a self-employed full-time aquascaper. So if you do get the opportunity, guys, check it out. You might be able to find it on an Amazon or another bookstore. There might be online versions, but the aquascapes in there, not the best by today's standard. But back then they were just absolutely revolutionary, and Takashi Amano, he sadly passed away in 2015, but his legend absolutely lives on. Aquascaping isn't going away, it's just getting bigger and bigger. More and more people are getting into it, and that is absolutely fantastic. I believe aquascaping really does enrich people's lives. Aquariums are clinically proven to help lower blood pressure, relax, lower pulse rate, reduce anxiety levels. Some of you may know, I suffer from PTSD, and I absolutely 100% convinced that aquascaping really helps me with that. Yeah, I just wanted to show you this and a little bit of background and why I love it so much, and it just transformed my life into, it was, like I said, the first step into this amazing journey I'm on right now. And yeah, I just thought I'd share it with you guys. Let me know, do you have this book? or do you have any other Takashi Amano books? Let me know what they are. Do you have any recommendations for any other Takashi Amano books? I do have, let me get the others down for you. I've got a load of aqua journals as well. They do their own magazine every month in Japanese. They did do an English translation for a while. I'm not sure if they do it anymore. But this is, if you didn't know, Takashi Amano is also a very skilled and award-winning landscape photographer. And this is some of his work in here. This was given to me by Jörg Bullman in 2017 when I judged an aquascaping contest in Germany, which is awesome. I did a workshop there as well. This is one of his first books. In fact, this might have even been published in English before Nature Aquarium World Book 1, no, 97, so it did come after, but it's a much thinner copy. And the interesting thing about Book 1 is it's a real kind of, it goes into the philosophy of Nature Aquarium World. It goes a little bit into the techniques, and there's obviously great photos of his aquascapes, but it goes into Takashi Amano's philosophy. Come here, you cheeky little boy. So there's Nature Aquarium World Book 2, which is more focused on smaller aquariums. Book 3, this is more recent edition. This is his complete works, 1985 to 2009. He also has a book that he wrote just before he died, and his daughter helped to write it as well. I'll leave a link to that, and that's a very poignant book. I gave my copy away to a friend. I will buy another copy for sure. And also, this isn't by Amano, but my good friend Oliver Knott wrote this book, Training Days in Japan, which is about Oliver's experiences over with Takashi Amano. So just thought I'd give you an insight, guys, into the background of Nature Aquarium. This style of aquascaping was absolutely invented by you're getting a bit attention seeking, eh? Are you biting? Yeah, just thought I'd give you an insight, guys. Check out his work if you've not heard of it already. Consider buying some of the books, aqua journals. Like I said, you've probably heard of him already, but if you haven't, definitely check him out. And yeah, gives you a bit of an insight into my background into aquascaping. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Just a kind of impromptu video. I had the camera set up for another project, but I thought I'd use the opportunity and tell a bit of a story. So I hope you enjoyed it, guys. You take care. Keep on scaping. Cheerio. Say cheerio, Tommy. Say cheerio. He's a good boy. You love you very much. You love you.